Ever since I started dating my boyfriend, my hair ties kept vanishing. My friends joked he was building a shrine, but what they found later made me question everything about him. My hair ties have been disappearing ever since I started dating my boyfriend, and now my friends think he's either building a secret shrine of me or stealing small things as a prelude to stealing bigger ones later. About a month ago, I became official with a guy named Tim. Tim is great, really responsible, honest, has a good career, etc. So far, our relationship has been great aside from the fact that since I met him, my scrunchies have started going missing. It sounds stupid, I know, but I always scrunchies throughout my apartment. I use them every day and like them to be easily accessible. I have some in my bathroom, both of my bedrooms, my living room, my car, etc. I probably had 20 plus scrunchies randomly dispersed throughout. I'm down to 6, 3 of which were in my car. At first, I thought maybe I just lost 1 or 2, but before long, I noticed that entire stashes were missing. It's gotten annoying because anytime I go to reach for one, it's just gone. For example, I have a drawer under my sink where I had kept around 5 scrunchies. Sounds crazy, but I tend to take them, tie my hair back, do something else, and take it out in a different room. This assured me I would always have one on hand in the room I usually need them most. I return 5 to this stash on Sundays when I clean, if they got moved. The drawer now has none. The only factor in my life that has changed is my boyfriend. My dog doesn't bother them, but even if she had somehow gotten into drawers and taken to eating them, we'd probably be in the petty yard right now because 14 scrunchies is quite a lot. I don't think anyone is breaking in to steal my scrunchies. I know I haven't lost this many. Is my boyfriend secretly a ferret? What could he possibly be doing with all of these scrunchies? My friends are joking that he has a shrine of me in his closet. One friend thinks that he's stealing them to test if I notice when things go missing and has plans to steal more, which has me sort of sketched out. He's never in my apartment alone, but he's somehow finding enough time to be alone to do this and for me not to notice. Does anyone have any ideas? I was going to confront him, but I don't want to accuse him of something so silly. But I also just don't get it. Help edit. Some of y'all just aren't any fun. Obviously, no one but him knows. I just wanted to preemptively prepare myself for reasons as to why he could be doing this. Also, it's just kind of funny, so I wanted to share. I thought the way this was written would kind of show that, but some people are taking it way too seriously. He's planning on coming over tonight, so it's definitely on the agenda to inconspicuously ask him where they've gone. At this point, if he says he doesn't know, I'm just going to set up a camera because, he's lying and needs to be called out. Or, B, someone unwelcomed is in my apartment stealing my stuff. Someone asked if it could be my dog, but I've pulled my couch out since this started happening. And honestly, my dog doesn't really steal things, so I'm 99.9% positive it's not her. She's an old gal and just sleeps mostly. Unless there's some other creature sneaking in and stealing, it's definitely a person's doing. A lot of people have said he might be tidying them up, but this is honestly impossible because they're nowhere to be found. I have a fairly large apartment, but unless he's storing them in a vent or something, they're just straight up missing. Either way, I should have some update tonight. Update 1 day later. Y'all, he just left, and I have to write this now while it's fresh in my mind. So as many of you came at me for not doing immediately, I had a talk with him tonight. I had planned on it, but when I discovered the last batch of missing scrunchies this morning, I snapped and just wanted to get some idea of what he could be doing with them. I didn't want to approach it via text or while either of us was working, so I figured I'd just wait until this evening to approach him. A lot of people told me that I should be able to talk to him, but it's still so new. I just didn't want to approach it at first. Most of you were wrong, but a few of you beautiful, twisted people got it right. Without further ado, allow me to provide my best recollection of the conversation. Me, I keep losing my scrunchies, and it's driving me nuts. Have you seen any of them around? Him, not really. Don't you have one on your nightstand? Me, yeah, but I used to have a lot more, and now they're missing. It's so weird. At this point, his demeanor kind of changed. To be fair, I was staring him down, and he knew I knew. He just shrugged at me. The demeanor switch gave me enough of a spidey sense that I just flat out asked him why he was taking them. He initially tried to say that he didn't, then he tried to say he was accidentally taking them and said he would put them on his wrist and forget to take them off. I pressed him saying I never saw them on his wrist, and I always kiss him goodbye so I would notice. He looked like he was about to start crying and kept saying he didn't know, which didn't make sense because he clearly did. I got frustrated and raised my voice and demanded to know, at which point he admitted he was masturbating with them. I just kinda stared at him, and for a second, I was glad that I made the post because the initial shock wasn't as bad since it was brought to my attention that this is common. I had him explain, and he said that one night early on, he was at my place and we had made out, but I told him I didn't want to have sex. He shimmied away to the bathroom and had looked around for something to use as lube, I only had scented lotions around, and he was worried I'd noticed that he smelled like them. So he chose the next best thing, which I guess was my ultra plush towel scrunchie. After he defiled my poor scrunchie, he apparently panicked and rinsed it out and put it in his pocket. I guess this experience ignited something within him because he started taking them to relieve himself with. When I asked why he didn't just keep up with the same one and wash it or buy his own pack, he said that it felt better because it was mine. Cute, I guess. He told me he would never take another one and apologized profusely for being weird. He even offered to buy me new ones. While he wasn't as manipulative or scary as some people thought, I still don't love that trust has been broken so early on and that he stole from me, regardless of the reason. I asked for space, and he left. So, yeah, I don't really know what I plan to do from here, but now we all know. Apparently, scrunchies of your loved one feel really good if anyone wants to give it a shot with permission, of course. Top/relevant comments. Commenter: Girl, please tell me you're going to break up with a scrunchy screwer. Ops response: You already know that this is how he will forever be remembered in the group chat. Unfortunately, men always do crazy things to me, and I'm known as the girl who dates the crazy men. We now have bodies in the river guy, laxatives in your pasta guy, squirrel guy, and our newest addition, the scrunchy screwer. Next guy has big shoes to fill. Commenter 2: Wait, what? We need all the tea on the others with these nicknames. Ops response: Okay, here's the rundown. Bodies in the river. My first boyfriend broke up with me when I was 18. The guy was really weird and gave off serial killer vibes, but never towards me, so I was naive and let it go. Right before we broke up, he talked about killing his dad and coworkers. He said he was a sociopath and never even loved me, was just used to me. I gingerly ended things and called the police. He also hit me around this time, which was a no-go for me. One specific thing that happened was us going to walk around a river in our city, and he said something to the effect of, I wonder how many bodies are in there. Bet a lot of people went missing, ended up in there, and were never found. Laxatives in your pasta guy. I dated this guy a year later. It started off weird because he pressured me into dating him by walking girls around my work. I worked at a coffee shop and telling me how in demand he was and how valuable his time was. I, again, was naive and dated him. He started cooking for me a few months in, which I thought was cute, but I was constantly sick, and he would gaslight me and tell me I wasn't actually sick, just being dramatic. I ended up going to a doctor who evaluated me for an eating disorder and accused me of taking laxatives all the time based on the symptoms I had shown. I told him I never did that, and he started evaluating me for domestic abuse. Turns out the guy was putting laxatives in my food to make me sick. Don't know why, but I recently met his other ex-girlfriends who had the same symptoms, so he's still going strong. He also bought me a vape and encouraged me to start vaping, telling me it was zero nicotine juice. I found the bottle, and it was actually salt nicotine and was super high. I can't remember the dosage, but definitely not zero. He just liked getting people to ingest things, I guess. This guy still trash talks me to all of our hometown, which people are happy to tell me about to this day. Squirrel guy. I have a deeper recount of this on my page since it was sort of recent. This is also the left me behind in a mass shooting guy. Just to touch on both of those, I helped an injured squirrel, and this guy sat me down with his father who degraded me and called me names because of it. We were also at a place where a mass shooting took place, and he took off and pushed me away from him when I tried to catch him. All in all, I'd choose some winners. I could probably make some great viral TikToks with all of the stories I've gathered, but these are some of the best. Commenter 3. Well, scrunchy screwer seems like a real catch in comparison. Ops response: It progressively gets better. You just gotta keep going or not, and maybe get a cat. At least they'll use the scrunchies for good.